What can I do for you? Nothing is more exciting to an artist as a massive room of blank, flat walls. Ah, how I shall fill them! My muse summoned me at a very young age to keep my hands supple for painting. I asked Alder to find me some non-physical labour to do. He started talking about pitching in and helping, and I may have stopped listening. I wasn't doing anyone any good there. I need to be where there's beauty. Take care.
Hi. This translation was a fun read. I once dated a peregrine, but probably not the same person. This book is hundreds of years old. Let me know when you find something else for me to translate. This will give me something to do tonight. I should be finished translating it tomorrow. Ancient Dvergen can be tricky. I'll need a little more time. Take care.
This is a tragedy.
I haven't seen Aubrey Gilchrist in several weeks. She's a strange sort, always wandering off.
You've come at last. I've been praying for your return. Cape Solace is under attack. Ships have landed. Prisoners have been taken. We have no one left to protect us. Time is what I need. Time and faith. Not in Akara, but in myself. There was never a god here on Gallows End. But that doesn't mean good things were not done in his name. One day I will understand what that really means. I will not discuss it. Members of the village, a scout and several gatherers. Innocents who have called this island home for many years. Who do these invaders think they are to hold lives hostage? To demand a power that does not belong to them? They want the power beneath this island. Akara's magic, which many over the centuries have coveted and sought to possess. Understand, Gallows End has long been a prize for the corrupt and the curious. The Arathi, the Alfar, the Tverga, and even Dead Kel. Invaders come brandishing their weapons, but always they are swept back out to sea. They are not welcome here. I want to believe you, but without our guardian Akara watching over us, we are nothing but victims. Now we face these new invaders, and the world, alone. They are led by a Loselfar nobleman named Calder Von, a scholar and mage who has studied this island intensely, and who wishes to have it for himself. He brings with him the righteous flames of the Niskaru, demons he has harnessed for this purpose, and this purpose alone. I certainly believe that you will try. I have learned my lesson. Never again will I place our lives in the hands of another. Don't you understand? We are all alone, each and every one of us. The prisoners are being kept in a cavern in the northern cliffs. Do your best. That is all any of us can do. It is likely that they are being kept in the landing party's camp in the cliffs to the north. You must move quickly. Hurry now.
Lo, we sing of Solsvard, heir of the Ulfston Shieldbreaker, sure of hand and pure of heart, with fame on white wings, who claimed the isle for kin and raised his great dwarf fastings, undersea, mudhold, cliffbreak, and soul deep, treasures for and strongholds hearty, prizes for his betrothed. For by his side strode Lady Anrun, his comely warrior bride, whose wish was for a wedding feast, and all kin surrounded to bestow the greatest gift of all, a mighty keep of Gravehall. So rose the revel, and so fell the chain armor, the helms of iron, as bards sang thick and bedding beckoned. Up from the depths of blue deep winding, the terror drog came clawing at their slumbering halls, where warriors waged wars with wine dreams and fancy, alone in the fearful fasting. First one she seized up, alive with wicked pleasure, bones crushed and bodies beaten, as she painted the walls with gore, a screaming reverie.
Nice to see you.
Once again, a threat to Gallows End has been defeated. I wish I could say it was the first such attack. But perhaps a new season has begun. One where we must fend for ourselves and not fall back on the promises of a faceless god. I don't know who you are, stranger, but your presence here has shaken us. We will survive, but it will take time. And this is goodbye.
This tower is a challenge, but I've never had so much fun. I'm impressed. Not everyone can find such value in simple salvage, but you've managed to get everything we need. I never doubted you. Up we go, but there's still some work to be done. Visit me in a bit. Bye.
Oh, hi. I felt a little dirty translating this text. I once knew an Almain monk who collected these kinds of tales. Anyway, I await your next find. I will need a day to translate this. Check back tomorrow. See you. Hi, I finished the translation. Brought me back to my childhood. My mother used to read me a modern version of this every night before bed. I await your next find. Until very recently, I was in charge of the ancient text collection of the Scholia Arcana Library. So, if you find anything you need help translating, I'm your girl. See you.
Exciting times, eh, my liege? This last edition will please you more than the others. It will secure your role as a player in political affairs. Now that it's nearly done, the time is right to ask Myfa Ronwyn to serve as your envoy. There is no one better qualified, and no one who could better represent your interests. You wouldn't know it to look at her now, but Myfa's as impressive a figure as you're likely to meet. We could wish for no finer envoy to represent us abroad. This last edition will please you more than the others. It will secure your role. The time is right to approach. Goodbye.
have a ship to go with your keep, you may need someone to speak for you abroad. No one here has been kinder to me than Paddy. I admire his stubborn refusal to accept any setback. Honestly, I count him as my best friend. When great powers speak to each other, it has often been with my own voice. I have a way of getting people to ask for what they really want and accept what I am offering. My gifts failed me, however, when the first sparks of the Crystal War ignited. Perhaps nothing could have stopped it, but I still feel culpable. Perhaps, in my service to Gravehall, I can atone for my failings and bring the peace that eluded me. Now that Paddy suggested, the tower would make a most impressive embassy. If you had not yet found a suitable envoy, I'd be grateful for the chance to prove myself. I've done my best to adjust to Cape Solace, but it's a feeble pantomime of my life before. Once I spoke for mighty Rathir, its youngest envoy ever by decades. Now I dole out chores for a little man living on a beach. Paddy said he was hard at work and would send for me when the time was right. I have spent my life extending the hand of friendship across the kingdom. I'd be honored to be Gravehall's envoy to the world. I'll wrap up my affairs and join you there shortly. The pleasure was mine. Why, hello.
What do you think, my liege? Nothing has ever reached so high to the heavens. And have you heard? My Faronwyn from Cape Solace has decided to serve as the keep's envoy to foreign lands. If you require her services, she can be found in the embassy. Never thought I'd say it, but I truly believe we have a Kara to thank for this keep. I'm not about to volunteer to be the scion, but I'd have to be a fool to deny the truth. You, the dream, the key, the castaways, all of it, just when we needed it. I hope you don't mind. As a gesture of my gratitude, I planted the seed of a mighty tree in the courtyard in honor of Akara's help. It was the least I could do, I think. Living down on the beach, I never really believed I'd someday live behind these walls. And it was beyond the most absurd imaginings to think that I'd be able to restore this magnificent keep. I cannot begin to thank you enough. My liege, now that your throne room is prepared, you have an opportunity to truly help your people. We will let it be known that whenever you sit upon your throne, you will hear petitions from anyone who comes before you. You may render judgment or offer help as you see fit, and your people will show their gratitude. Goodbye.
It's quite the beautiful day. Paddy found a bunch of old paintings during his last construction. They're all fairly damaged, but I believe I can restore them using some magical paints. However, I will need you to go kill some monsters for me. You see, my magical paint soaks up the essence of beasts when they die. Not only will that make it possible for me to restore the paintings, but the paintings will take on magical properties. A little something given to me by a gnome scholar. They capture the essence of beasts when they're killed nearby. The gnomes said they were still experimental, but they seem to work fine. Okay, this first painting appears to be some kind of cave. It should be interesting to see how it turns out. For this one, you'll need to kill some mergen and scavs. Bring the vials of paint back to me once they've changed colour. You need to tint the vials I've given you by killing certain corresponding monsters. Bring the vials back to me once they've changed colour. Take care.
Horror. Foolish nonsense.
My liege. No one here has been kinder to me than Paddy. I admire his stubborn refusal to accept any setback. Honestly, perhaps, in my service to Gravehall, I can atone for my failings and bring the peace that eluded me. My gifts failed me, however, when great powers speak to each other. It has often been with Renlock is a low-sulfur town in the bitter cold of Icebrine Coast. Fort Oghorn is a Varani trading post in Dregshaw. Ember Deep is a Diverga city on the Obsidian Isle. I expect you will keep me quite busy speaking to our neighbors abroad, so I won't be spending much time in this embassy. But I assure you, it's the most dignified and impressive I have ever seen, and I've seen them all. Being the diplomatic sort, I'll just say I am much happier here. I am humbled to serve Gravehall Keep as its envoy to the world. Thank you for honoring me so. Without further ado, let's begin. By your command, I can embark on diplomatic missions to our closest neighbors across the sea. Shall we begin? Once you've given me my mission, I will depart immediately to deliver whatever message or gesture you see fit. I will be away for as long as it takes to complete my mission. Upon my return, I shall await you here to report the result. Our three closest neighbors are the Diverga of the Obsidian Isles to the northwest, the Varani of Dregshaw to the southeast, and the Losulfar of the Icebrine Coast to the southwest. You may dispatch me to their capital cities, Ember Deep, Fort Oghorn, or Renlock. Our three closest neighbors, the Diverga of the Obsidian Isles to the northwest, the Varani of Dregshaw to the southeast, and the Losulfar of the Icebrine Coast to the southwest. You may dispatch me to their capital cities, Ember Deep, Fort Oghorn, or Renlock. With friendly neighbors, I can offer tribute, propose trade, collect gifts, or forge an alliance. With hostile powers, I can declare war, stage raids of goods, or collect spoils of war. I am skilled at espionage as well. You may entrust me to perform all manner of clandestine tasks. With whom should we engage in diplomacy? The Varani are a loose collection of traders. Beyond commerce, Fort Oghorn would just as well have nothing to do with the rest of the world. What kind of diplomatic mission would you like me to conduct with them? Very well. Let me know when you'd like me to reach. With whom should we engage in diplomacy? The Losilvar are a mysterious and magical people. Hrenlock is an outpost in the cold, ice-brine coast. What kind of diplomatic mission would you like me to conduct with them? How much do you want to give? This should improve relations between us. I'll let you know how it went when I'm back tomorrow. I'm on my way out now. I shall see you soon with, I pray, good news. The pleasure was mine.
I have been looking for a friend of mine who was also aboard our ship when we wrecked. I believe she could have survived the crash, but I can't find her. Her name is Sister Siana. Will you find her for me? All I know is the front of the ship broke off as we approached the island and drifted west. Oh, think Lyria. I saw the front end of the ship floating to the western part of the island. I pray Sister Siana has found her way safely ashore.
Well, if it's not my best customer. Actually, you're pretty much my only customer. Take care, my liege. Please, where can I find food and shelter? A whole Dverga keep, you say? That should do quite nicely, thank you. We were conducting magical experiments on the open sea. It was thought that we could use our magic to open up a hole in the water. Turns out we did. Only it swallowed the ship whole, killing everyone but me. We are a school of mages who have dedicated our lives to the pursuit of magic. Deirdre is quite useful to have around. She's even helped me translate an ancient book on spellbinding. Thank goodness you got us transportation. I think I may try to steal some time with it to visit some nearby islands. I wasn't always so gifted in magic. I started to manifest abilities about the same time as I started to notice boys, so my parents sent me off to the Scholia Arcana. Never decided if they were trying to protect me more from magic or from boys. A pleasure.
The tribute was graciously accepted. They were pleased by our contribution. With whom should we engage in diplomacy? What kind of diplomatic mission would you like me to conduct with the Varani in Fort Oghorn? How big a trade would you like me to make? Excellent. This should improve relations between us. I'll be back tomorrow. Nice seeing you.
Oh, you look terrible. Have you been talking to those heretics in the village? I'd need healing after that, too. I was afraid of the worst, and rightly so, it turns out. Thank you for bringing me this letter. It's comforting to have her final words. Oh, don't fall for this Akara business.
No scion is safe.
Are we safe?
You're so sweet. Ah, hello, my love. Shall we walk along the cliffs? Share a stew of eels and oysters? Ew, I take back the last one. That I can do.
Huh? What's this? East of the Wold, fortunes can be had there for a lucky... Oh, really? Someone finally answers to my posting. Now that's what I like to see. Finally, keep the peace.
Finally, we found the last person we need after all. I'm Helig Cross. I'm leading an expedition to the land south of Dalentarth, the Teeth of Naros, and we could use another strong back. We're in the foothills of the Teeth right now. It's not the easiest place to reach, sheer cliffs of stone, and few passes through them. Sverri's got a fairly good head on her shoulders. She's only got eyes for gold, but there's plenty for all on this trip. When it comes to navigating ruins, there's no one I trust more. Been a mercenary for about 20 years now. Toured with the Warsworn, but didn't take quite as much pride in the work as they wanted. So I struck out on my own. You can make a fair bit of coin selling your sword to keep a farm or two safe. Not that I'll need to anymore. During one of my other campaigns, I chanced upon a diary of an Almain monk, Denric the Crazed. Said he found a way to the land south of Dalentarth. After reading what he found there, cities of gold, fountains of sapphires, I decided I wanted to see this land for myself. A mage is always good to have on an expedition like this, except for cash. But maybe he'll come around. Few facts. The only record of a successful journey there was by an Almain missionary named Denric, returned half dead and maddened to hell. He claimed the southern land as home to a miraculous city, wrought of gold and trimmed with silver, even said it floated above the earth. If you can believe it. It's hard country, damn impossible to find a pass in the mountains, but if I'm right, this cavern will take us under them. Because Denric wrote of more than wealth. Tales of giant men, tall as houses, that slaughter any who approach. It took weeks even to convince Cash and Sverri to join me. With a fourth, we can take a bigger haul without sharing too much of it. Denric was crazed, but I don't hold him a liar. I can overlook some bogeyman's tales if there's riches to be had. Can you? Then we only need to begin. I've seen to all the logistics and all the preparations for the journey. Meet us in the Southern Passage. Let's try to cover as much ground as we can. It's the cave next to camp. I heard rumors that it was filled with artifacts that none had ever seen before. Strange carvings and huge works of stone. I don't know how dangerous it is, but I advise against being too carefree inside. We should go in as a group. Stay close.
The time of deliverance is almost nigh. The teeth of Naros have gone untamed since the rocks were young, since the wind was but a child. And now, my chosen people stand on the precipice of taming this land, or succumbing to it. I thought once that none could change the stars of this world. But at last, one has come who can. Come, thou fateless one, I beckon thee.
What is it?
Stay close. Don't know how much experience you have with caves like these, but there's always something you need to look out for. Pellic knows his stuff, even if he's a bit trusting. I don't know if we'll find riches, but I bet we'll find something. The mage is more used to seeing women in skirts, but I've caught him leering more than a few times nonetheless. Let's hope his spellcraft is more potent than his stares. Glad that's done with.
Be careful. What the hell is that thing? What is that thing?
This... what is it? It looks like it's made of stone. But this stain... this is blood. This thing is flesh! I'm not going to stick around and find out what killed this thing. This whole damn place is cursed.
Damn craven. Don't know what Cash was getting so worked up for. Just a statue somebody toppled over, and got all bloody. Let the mage run to his mother. We don't need him. We don't even know if it was a corpse. Could have been a statue that an Etten decorated with some entrails, or something. I can't believe that craven made. Wait a moment. I don't like the look of this hallway up ahead. This is Sverri's area of expertise. Let her take the lead here. What was that? First the mage turns coward, then Sverri dies doing the one thing she's supposed to be suited for. Is this some sort of joke? What's next? Are you going to reveal you're really just a kobold with a bad case of mange? Clearly, I should be more thorough when recruiting my expeditions. Fine. Let's just keep moving. We'll manage on our own from here. We keep going. Cash proved to be useless, and Sverri's not helping anyone anymore. Looks like it was always up to us. With just two of us, we'll have to try and manage as best we can. It won't be easy, but I thought something like this could happen. Come, we must make Sverri's death. What in the hell were those things? I've never seen anything like them. I heard of the dangers of the southern land, but are the gods themselves conspiring against us? I think I need to rest for a while. Here, I'm going to wait here. Scout the passage ahead, and see if you can find a place to make camp. Will you stop fussing over me? It's not doing either of us any good for you to stay here. We need to find some place to make camp. I'll take it, but I'll wait until I really need to use it. Be a shame to waste the thing, wouldn't it? Now get going. I need to rest. Discover what you can, and come back to me. I told you, I'll be fine. I'll save the health potion you gave me for when things really get dire. Now, find a place for us to make camp. I'll be fine. Get going.
And so, after centuries, it has come to pass. The cipher has reached thy hands, Beckett. At last, my work can be completed. One who watched and waited for decades and centuries and eons, and all for this day, when thou wouldst come before me. I have read the fates of this world to find thee, unfated one. Many and long have been thy trials thus far, but there is yet another challenge thou must face, mine. Since the inception of my labors, I have always known that their fulfillment would require fate to be unbound. Such is the paradox of faith. The tapestry of fate offers no allowance for such events. Only an unfated being could complete the work I had started. So I waited, in despair and hope. And then thou came to pass. I needed thy nature, and it was created, though I had no hand in it. I see that as fate, in a way. To continue thy path through the tapestry of fate, and perpetuate its sundering, I will open the way to the teeth of Naros. Seek the Primos, and thy duty will be made clear in time. Go now with my blessing. Go now with my purpose. For thou art beckoned. That which was ordained must be undone.
First we have an army of Jotun at our gates, and now this. I don't know you, little one, but you'll find no quarter here. This is still Colossi-held territory for the moment. State your intent. Everything does harm in these lands. I do not know you, so why should I take you at your word? Furthermore, none have come from those caverns since they were sealed, save you. How is it you came here? It is a road that has gone otherwise unwalked since it was sealed. How did you walk this path? Strange entity. A curious riddle, but one that must be solved later. It seems the Jotun have rallied their strength. Steel yourself. Identify yourself. I listen. What can I do? I command the soldiers that protect my people, the Colossi, from the dangers of this land. They are many, and we are but few. Each passing year it seems more and more like we lose ground. But what can we do? We are commanded to stay here. The Jotun are a savage race, but their cruelty can be controlled as easily as it can be fostered. Before we came here, the Jotun were our wards, but that was a lifetime ago, and now they call for our heads. It was an old passage built by my people as our faith demanded. Once, it was to lead to fertile woodlands. But we were commanded to stay our diggers, our masons, so we remain in the teeth. I won't. That was well fought, little friend. You have a strength in your arms that belies their lack of girth. Perhaps you are not the interloper I believed you to be. You claim to have been summoned, but for what purpose? What strange forces brought you here? You speak of the Holy King of my people, and that artifact you bear. Could it be the cipher? Your mission is twice damned already. The Primos is a recluse. But more immediate than that is the Jotun horde. Idilla is sealed off as long as they continue plaguing my people. Yes, hiding away in his high tower and pining for gods that will never listen to him. The Primos is the highest office among the Colossi, reserved for the one that leads my people in politics and prayer. At least that is how things should be. But Anakatos, the latest to have this authority, has not lived up to his duties. Our people are stranded in a wild land, in a time of our greatest doubt, and he locks himself away from us. Our ruler leaves us leaderless. It is the city you see floating in the sky over this land of savages and dangers. It is my people's greatest accomplishment and failure. I cannot speak more of it to an outsider. Forgive me. A relic of great importance to those of my people that carry the faith. I thought it was just a myth, but one who carries the cipher is much loved by the gods. So the sages of my race say. A blessing as much as a curse. The Jotun are led by Karunk, a warlord that reigns over his horde from his ramshackle tower. One of my scouts, Remy's, watches them now. He can offer you advice on fighting the warlord, and if you can kill Karunk, I will lead you to the Primos myself. It is a wonder to any mortal eyes, though because it is not good enough for the gods' tastes, we must call it a failure. And still we bear this bitter truth every morning. And by every sundown it seems liable to crush us under its weight. Keep it close to you. That artifact is proof to many that you are the avatar of the gods. It holds much power. The warlord is cruelty incarnate. He has transformed the memory of my people's leadership into that of slavery. As if we possess such barbarity. He makes camp in the barbarous tower you see in the distance. He must be killed if this is to end. Bring word to the city. They will need to know about the Jotun and this new interloper.
What? Ah! What a horrid little thing you are! Are you some kind of Jotun runt? Explain yourself quickly. The last thing I want is to give away my position. She is a competent warrior and good leader, but she's served the city almost non-stop since she became the captain of the guard. Every day she seems more strained than the day before. How long can she continue serving the city? I am a scout for the Idilla Guard. There are many dangers that lurk in the corners of this land. My job is to root them out. I have seen him rip a spear from his belly without so much as a grunt. We thought he might just not feel pain, but I know his secret. They gorge themselves daily. They fight at the slightest provocation. They pride themselves on their odor. Are these truly the menace to our society? That much I was aware of, and I knew Sikandra would send someone. But you? A sign of the times, to be sure, but if you're to do the deed, then I have information that you will need. Karunk is truly powerful, but no more so than his brethren. It is not his strength that's troubling. It's his fortitude. 2 kobolds he keeps with him work some strange magics that heal his wounds and help him resist injury. Kill them, and the fight is yours. Using primal magic would certainly help as well. Strange thing, aren't you? Primal magic is a magic imbued upon weapons and gems. Only armament can channel it. The magic does some damage on its own, but its true strength is its ability to augment other magics you cast on your foe to a devastating degree. Take this weapon. Use it to inflict primal magic on a foe and let loose your spells. Even a Jotun warlord could not withstand such an onslaught. It is an older form of magic, one that does little damage on its own, but can wreak havoc when combined with elemental spells. Using weapons infused with primal magic, you can increase your foe's magical sensitivity. Even a troll's hide will have its resistances sapped. Imagine loosing your most damaging spells with no resistances. Few would survive such an onslaught. Be careful.
I had heard. From Remy's, I received word that one such as you entered Karunk's tower with no trepidation, no anxiety. Do I even have to ask? Does the war chief still draw breath? It was said the gods would call their champion. And here you are, bearing the cipher, seeking the Primos. For your role in deposing the warlord, I give you this. A hammer prized among the Jotun, so I'm told. Use it as your trophy. Now my forces can put the rest of the Jotun to the spear beckoned. Before this day, I thought it was just a myth. A lie my people told ourselves to make our sins more bearable. The beckoned is a deliverer. The beckoned speaks for the gods. The beckoned is their messenger, their conduit. What is the beckoned? One who carries the cipher, the icon of the gods. One who faces the troubles of my people without hesitancy. The beckoned is you. With their leader dead, they will likely keep to themselves and lose the will to harry my people as they have. I will wager that they won't suffer incursions into their camp, for good or ill. But still they have caused my people suffering. Shall we wait and allow them to inevitably rise again? This is our best opportunity to finish them. I owe you much for killing Karunk beckoned, so I will do as you say. I only hope you do not reap bitter fruit from your generosity. Now I will take you to the henge, and then to the Primos, as I promised. The Primos is our ruler, and the most devout of the Colossi. For example, our current Primos, Anakatos, has sequestered himself away from our people in prayer for years. Meanwhile, we are threatened every day, and because of Anakatos' extreme measures, we lack guidance. An artifact my people made. With the city in the sky, we knew we needed a way to travel from the teeth and back. The energies it focuses are the same as those that keep the city aloft. They can levitate people and objects safely. Very well. Here, Beckoned. This artifact you see before us is a henge. We use it to transport to the city. It may be uncomfortable at first. I still recall retching after my first journey with it. But it is the only way into the city. Very well. I listen. What can I do? I have thought on your decision to spare the Jotun, and how our intolerance exposes our hypocrisy. At first I saw no reason for it. The Jotun are cruel and savage. Then I realized that we Colossi were that way once, until someone gave us a chance. Be cautious in these lands. What is it? And here you have it. Idylla, our great failing. Now let us go to Anakatos. He may hide from our people's needs, but he will not refuse a visitor sent from Athene. Now that the trouble with the Jotun has been solved, I am free to investigate other threats to my people, and there are many options to choose from. The goddess of wisdom was our patron. Though my people worship all the Titans, they hold Athene as our personal guardian. But the gods do not look to us or listen to us. What manner of patron neglects their charge, leaves their wards to the wilderness? The gods choose the Primos to lead we Colossi, and to enact their will. Of the gods, we are the favored of Athene, the goddess of wisdom. Or we were. Athene's once common words have been quiet for some time. The Primos has prayed in isolation for years, but she does not answer. Be cautious in these lands. Mind your step here, Beckoned. I wouldn't want the Colossi's failure to claim any more lives than it already has. It is not here by choice. Or our choice, anyways. Such questions would be better suited for the Primos. Suffice it to say that this was made in anticipation of something that never occurred. Farewell. Beyond these stairs is the sanctuary of the Primos, the leader of the Colossi people in the teeth of Naros. I must warn you, Anakotos has not left these quarters in years. He vowed to never cease his prayers until the gods answered them, and his people have languished for it. But I think his answer has finally arrived. Speak to him, Beckoned. His people have need of him. After years in his sanctum, I doubt he is the Primos I once knew. But though we all languish in the god's absence, none suffer as he does. He will likely see you as the answer to his prayers. Farewell.
Is there anything I can...
And though the path be fraught with tribulation, know that it leads to the land of our greatness, and that we walk it with you. Such were the words the gods spoke to the progenitor of my race when they sought to guide us from our base origins into a fruition of potential. The words have been in my heart every day of my reign, but now they are embodied. Welcome, Beckoned. At last, this city will be complete. Many are the artifacts strewn throughout this world, but the cipher of Athene, I have seen its outline traced in tomes and scrolls, but never in person. Bearing it makes you an embodiment of her power, Beckoned. She sees and hears through you. This land is the crucible by which my people might be forged to their new destiny. Vicious and inhospitable, it rebukes my people's every step. This is greater than any city or any temple that you will find in this world. Of that I assure you. But the city, though magnificent, is only half completed. The goddess has shepherded my people for generations. She was responsible for the growth of my people. Somehow, we were found unworthy of her. I have prayed to learn why, but her anger must be far too great. The messenger of the gods, one summoned to bring the word of faith back to our people. I always assumed that the Beckoned would be one of my own kind, but you bear the cipher. Your role cannot be made more clear. I am the Primos of the Colossi people. As I lead them in politics, I lead them in prayer. Because we are all of us, my whole people, incomplete. Because we are not worthy enough, not deserving enough to see such wonders of the gods. And I thought that failure was a finality. I have prayed to the gods in seclusion in hopes of an answer, but they were as quiet as the silent choir. Now the Beckoned is come. With you, the gods can bear witness to us atoning for our inadequacies. We must start at once, beginning with the wreath of absolution. Something no Primos would ever wish to wear. They are only made in times of great need, when we must prove to the gods our devotion. The Wreath of Absolution can only be created from the hands guided by Athene. I must ask you to assemble it. First, a golden prayer circlet is needed to serve as its base. The art of crafting one is all but lost to us, but I require one all the same. The last Primos to wear a Wreath of Absolution, Arcais, is buried with one such circlet. Secandra led you to me, did she not? Then she will lead you to the circlet. He led my people into the times that you see today. The gods did not favor his reign, clearly. The Silent Choir is a group of our most faithful followers, and serve me as I serve the gods. So deep is their faith that they never speak upon entering service. It lies in his crypt, in the darkest pits beneath the city. They are old halls, and they have fallen into disuse. I understand there might be trepidations in taking such an artifact from my predecessor's crypt, but I assure you, it is ordained. The times we have arrived at are desperate, and when the heavens show their intent, one cannot stand too much on ceremony. Salvation awaits.
You return. Well, the Primos has not graced the ears of his subjects in ages. What has he said to you? The Circlet of Arcais. And Anakatos expects me to lead you to it? Has his reclusion left him senseless? Has he forgotten his history as well as his people? Very well. As I cannot refuse the Primos, I will meet you in the crypts in the undersewers of the city. Let us deal with this as quickly as possible. You are the first to hear his voice in some time. I almost thought he would join his acolytes in their silent pact. But his prolonged absence from his people has taken its toll on his judgment. Does the Crypt of Arcais have no sanctity to him? I have had chances to speak of Arcais before, but it is not fitting for me to discuss him. Not now. We can find it in the crypts beneath the city's sewers. They are old structures, forgotten as the city was built above them. Very well.
Though the Jotun have wronged us in the past, the gods wish us to show them mercy.
The Lycaeus is popular no more. When will it close, I wonder?
I almost did not see you. I've heard a rumor that the silent choir never talks because they've had their tongues cut out.
Let us be quick about this. Keep close. There are worse things than marauders in these lower tunnels. They have lurked these walls for decades, raised along with the city years ago. Come. If that fool... Be cautious in these lands. There. That is the artifact you seek. The Circlet of Arcades. By taking it, Arcades' grave becomes an empty tomb. Let us depart. Onakatos has had his fun with me, and there is nothing left to plunder. They are colossi who succumb to the burden of this wilderness, letting it transform them into mindless brutes. They have the strength of our strongest, with none of the wisdom. It is nothing I can share with you, Beckoned. It is not worth your time. I always thought that were I to come to Arceus's crypt, it would be because of the work of gods alone. And here I am, by the will of none but Onakatos, flesh and blood. I cannot! I will not! Even after all these years, he has not forgotten his brand of viciousness. He knows I must obey his command. I apologize for my outbursts. However, it can be hard to let convictions go. But we must. We must. Take the circlet back to Onakatos. He is most likely waiting for you. Farewell. What is it? No one comes down here anymore. It is left to ruin, for the Colossi have no more need of these halls, or those interred within them. How many years did our masons toil to assemble this place? And look at it now. How easily we discard the labors of our past. What is it?
Beckoned, I pray for you.
Is that best?
How long must we be tested?
Can the beckoned be so
Beckoned, I pray for you.
Yes?
Beckoned? It seems my preconceptions were off. But I still need your divine aid. The plague spreads. A hidden menace. The secret horde. Though few acknowledge them, the rats are the great threat to this city. In my younger days, I hunted the vermin with a force of will unequaled by the greatest of the theologians in the Lycaeus. I am a mason, one of many caretakers of the sewers. The Lycaeus breeds thinkers, philosophers. They spend their days pondering the greater meaning of existence. Such are their debates that they shake the very foundations of Idylla. For some time, non-believers have touted that the relevance of the Lycaeus has passed, but I'm confident all it needs is one brilliant lecturer to stoke its fires. Are you enjoying its splendors? This fair city is rich with them. Even in the sewers, under its gleaming exterior, lies a feat of engineering unrivaled by other cities in Amalur. I have worked on this city for all my lifetime. The sewers that run below it are my masterpiece. But this work of art is besmirched by rats. These foul vermin run rampant in my catacombs, tainting it with their fetid presence. Try as I might, I cannot best the scourge. But you beckoned. Your divine intervention is needed. I have never known beasts with such low cunning and high birth rates. They are fearless as they are disgusting. I have pinpointed a much-traveled route used by the rats and seeded it with traps that can be activated on command. Find the levers that activate those traps. They've been placed on a ledge overlooking the route. When you see the rats pass below, simply pull the levers as they approach the traps. Slay the filthy vermin. Once I hunted the rats that plague our sewers with such zeal, but I have worked myself to exhaustion and am forced to rest here. Though I rest, the rats do not. Please, find the traps I laid in the sewer and lay waste to them. I wish you well. Many greetings, stranger.
I expected the beckoned would arrive sooner or later.
Ah, the famed beckoned comes to me at last. Admittedly, my request might be the smallest you will hear, but I wish to voice it nonetheless. I'm just one who's intent on maintaining the cultural integrity of her people. We were once no nobler than the Jotun or the Etin. Some would purge this history, but then how will we remember it? This is a place for those who are weary of their burdens. If you feel so, you can rest for a while. How do you find our city, Beckoned? Grand, is it not? It is the great island of progress, as I see it. But even it cannot forget the world it left below. All the rocks you see, here and in the sewers, once rested in the teeth of Naros. I do not forget Arcades, or what he did for my people. He led us here and started this city, but most cannot see past his flaws. To preserve the past, all around us is the great chisel and hammer of progress, keen on dragging my people towards enlightenment. But such progress means nothing without context. I wish for someone who can find artifacts of my ancestors, reminders of our simpler times. Very good. I'll reward you for any artifacts you can find, but larger artifacts will do well for both of us. I await your findings. They are strewn throughout the teeth of Naros. They may be hidden in forgotten corners or carried by beasts as trophies. They are little things, of no intrinsic value. But as my people are so convinced to make progress, these artifacts are the few records of who we once were. Be careful with them.
I expected the beckoned would arrive sooner or later.
Yes?
I almost did not see you.